Welcome everyone to session 2 of the Helping Hands with Heart Substance Use Disorder Resource Fair. Thank you for being here, for some of you for the second time, and thank you to our presenters for agreeing to tell us a little bit about some of the resources available in the Piscataquis region. I am Derek Carter. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the program manager for youth victims of the opioid crisis at Penquis. And we've got 4 presenters with us today. Those presenters are Doug Dunbar will be talking about some programs at EMDC. Christine McMillen will be talking about a couple of the programs that she runs at Penquis as well. Deb Rountree will be talking about resources at Eastern Maine Community College, and then Ginger Collins with peer-to-peer. So everyone will have a good, comfortable 10 minutes to present, and then probably have another 5 comfortable minutes for Q&A. I know last time we went a little over time, so we made sure to buffer in a little bit of time this time and push it to 4:30 just in case we needed it. With that, I think we're good to get started with Doug to begin with. If you'd like to introduce yourself and talk about what it is that you offer, Doug.
Okay, thanks. Just so I get a sense, most of us here are providers of one kind or another. I want to make sure, is there anyone here who's, I'm going to say from the public, who is not a provider, just so that I can try to help you out with information that I think that might be most beneficial. Madeline, thank you for being here.
Yeah, I work for the OCFS, so familiar with the provider landscape, but I work for OCFS.
Well, thank you. And for the rest of us, obviously this is a chance to even, get refreshed or reminded about various programs and services that are out there. So it's a beautiful day. Thank you all for for being here rather than outside. I came to Eastern Maine Development Corporation a little over 2 years ago, following a period of time incarcerated, and then a participant in the Penobscot County Adult Drug Treatment Court. And that's where I met Scott Knowles, who's terrific. He is part of this Connecting with Opportunities initiative as what we call a peer connector. And so Scott works directly with people who want to participate and then directly with our participants. We've hired a good number, I don't have the number off the top of my head, a good number, maybe 12 or so people in recovery from opioid use disorder and other SUDs, to be peer connectors, to walk step by step with each of our participants on their journey. The Connecting with Opportunities initiative is focused on the opioid crisis, although sadly, the opioid crisis has impacted many, many, many families in Piscataquis County and across our state and throughout the country, as we all know. And Connect with Opportunities is for people who've been personally impacted or indirectly impacted. Indirectly means that a family member, even a friend, has been impacted. And so that has impacted you indirectly. You're an affected other, as we say. So as I talk about Connecting with Opportunities, don't think of it just as for people who are in recovery personally. Yes, we want to support those individuals, but there are a lot of people who have been impacted. I had a nephew who struggled with opioids for 12 years. He started college at Beale University last week because of the Connecting with Opportunities initiative. So don't think of it just as for clients that you might have. This could be someone living in your home or in your neighbor's home, or your niece or your nephew, anyone at all. Connecting with Opportunities is what we call a workforce development program, and it's one of several available throughout Maine. And it's focused on helping people who have had challenges or barriers in life to get connected ultimately with meaningful employment. And for many of our participants, that means a training program or an academic program, but not everyone. Each of our participants develops a plan with a case manager that we call a workforce development specialist. And everyone's plan is different. I'll give you an example, because we need truck drivers and bus drivers desperately right now in Maine and nationally. So if someone came to us and wanted to be a truck driver, we would say, great. You know, we'd want to know about their driving record and some other issues to make sure that they could be employed at the end of the training. And if so, you know, we would help that person get connected with a CDL course, a commercial driver's license course, and would pay for it. And if they needed help with a computer, perhaps some of the courses are online these days, and that person doesn't have a computer, we want them to have a computer. And then if they need help with childcare to make it possible to take the course, we want to budget and help with childcare. And then if that individual eventually needs to get to a location to practice driving the truck, and that individual needs help with transportation to get there, we want to help with that too. So that might be a plan based on the person's interests, what he or she wants to do, and what his or her needs are. And there's a budget that goes along with it. And that plan is developed by the workforce development specialist, again, based on what the person wants to do. And then the peer connector, like Scott, is there to partner with that participant every step of the way. We know in the recovery community, in the recovery world, how important peer support can be. It can make the difference for some people. It can be life-saving for individuals. You all know this, but that's why we've incorporated peer connectors into the Connecting with Opportunities initiative. I wanted to show you a very brief news story that was on Channel 7 back in January. It's of one of our participants, and I think it's better than me continuing to talk. So I'm going to share. What I've not figured out how to do is get rid of the little commercial that comes on at the beginning of this. I don't know how to get rid of it. Oftentimes the commercial, though, is about an educational program in Maine, like Job Corps, or something happening at one of the community colleges. But it might just be a regular commercial. So here we go.
Let's face it, getting training and experience is hard, but at Loring Job Corps, we can help. From certifications in automotive technology, obtaining your CDL, or learning building trades, we have you covered. Maybe you prefer joining the high-tech world of computer networking or cybersecurity. We have that as well. Don't delay, get in the driver's seat to your future today. And the best part, Loring Job Corps is free. Receive free training, free meals, and even free housing. Call or go to jobcorps.gov/Loring. Job Corps careers begin here.
I've struggled on and off my whole life, and now with EMDC and finally realizing that I have something to bring to the table and I am smart.
Crystal Babcock has struggled with addiction for many years, but she's been working to overcome this. Since 2018, she has been in rehab. And last year, the Eastern Maine Development Corporation's Connecting with Opportunities program began helping her.
When I started to think about, wow, my goals, what I wanted to do, nothing really seemed attainable.
She says this quickly changed thanks to EMDC's program and Senior Workforce Development Specialist, Loretta Alley.
We did an 8-week workshop where she learned how to write a resume, how to do interviewing, how to go out and work.
I'm in college now, and I'm in my second semester, and I hold myself accountable. And I feel like it's the purest form of self-care, is to hold yourself accountable and to actively be pursuing your dreams.
President and CEO of EMDC, Lee Umphrey, says 400 people have enrolled in the program since it launched last year.
We provide all kinds of services, from social support services to workplace services, and kind of get them on a path not only of recovery and resilience, but also kind of build their skill set and their confidence.
The program is open to anybody in the state of Maine who has been impacted by opioid use disorder and needs help. To learn more about connecting with opportunities, visit emdc.org. I'm Brooke Riley reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22.
And I show that, hopefully you could hear it. Crystal just completed her second semester. She's gotten almost all A's at both semesters. We helped her with the tuition. We got her a computer. And this, to me, is so important. One of the things holding Crystal back was the lack of teeth. She was missing a number of teeth. She wouldn't smile and it held her back. She now has a beautiful smile. And every time I talk with her, I say, Crystal, I have to run and whiten my teeth because you have the most beautiful teeth. And she got those teeth because of connecting with opportunities, because we found in talking with her that that was an impediment to moving forward in what she wanted to do and accomplish. And I hate to put Scott on the I hate to, I don't know if Scott likes this or not, but he can tell you, because I have to leave shortly to go to another meeting, but Scott can tell you his experience and how he's benefited. Not only does he have a job at Eastern Maine Development Corporation because of connecting with opportunities, and not only is he helping other people on a daily basis, but there are things that have happened, for Scott and for his future that he can tell you more about in a minute. I have a very short PowerPoint, but I'm not going to show it because I think we probably are all getting tired of PowerPoints. But what I want to emphasize is that this Connecting Opportunities Initiative is just one of several workforce development programs. So if you know anyone at all, in your house, your neighbor's house, anywhere, who is unemployed or working but earning little, and wants to move forward but needs some help, they should do themselves a favor and get in touch with me or Scott or EMDC in general. Have a 15 or 20-minute conversation with us. It might be that the person isn't interested or isn't suitable or wouldn't be eligible. But lots and lots of people who are unemployed or working but earning little are eligible. And again, it can be life-changing. The Connecting with Opportunities Initiative, because of the way it's funded, all of our programs are funded through the federal government. The way Connecting with Opportunities is funded, it's for people who are unemployed. That means a dislocated person, someone who lost their job through no fault of their own and is eligible for or receiving unemployment benefits, or someone who's long-term unemployed, meaning during the past year, that person hasn't worked, has not been employed for 27 or more weeks, basically a week over half a year. So a half a year plus a week, you would be considered long-term unemployed. Those weeks can be consecutive or not. So Connecting with Opportunities for people who are dislocated or long-term unemployed, but there are other programs for people who are working but earning little. So anyone point them in our direction. Even if we can't help them, sometimes we know who can. And so I'm going to stop talking because I've gone over time, I think, and Deb needs to join me in the next meeting. We kind of double booked ourselves. But are there any questions? And Scott's going to stay on to answer other questions. My presentation wasn't that good, people. There must be questions.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I work for Georgia, and I wanted to ask you a little bit. Who would somebody contact if they had a small business? Because I know up in Aroostook County we have I have a recovery who has a salon, and your program, but in Aroostook, has helped her immensely. So that's another avenue, and I'm just wondering if that would be you, Doug, or if it would be someone in your surrounding office.
Well, I'll be interested in finding out more, and I can contact Megan O'Barry, who sort of administers the Connect with Opportunities Initiative in Aroostook County. But I'd be interested in finding out what we've done for that small business. Do you happen to know?
She So the small business owner, she went to the Northern Maine Economic Development. She did not go through Megan Berry.
Okay.
Yeah, because she didn't identify as opioid.
Okay.
It's not affecting her.
Okay.
It was more of alcohol.
Yep.
So Megan pointed her to Eastern Maine Economic Development, and they
Okay.
are Northern Maine. I'm sorry, and they're the ones that are helping her.
Oh, great.
Relationship.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyone you know, a small business owner, Eastern Maine Development Corporation absolutely helps small businesses. We cover several counties. For Connecting with Opportunities, we cover 9 counties in Maine. We wrote the grant proposal with the Maine Department of Labor to get several $1 million for the Connecting with Opportunities initiative. But as a service provider, we cover 9 counties, including Piscataquis. ACAP covers Aroostook County solely. We cover 9 other counties, Piscataquis, Penobscot, Hancock, Washington, and some of the central western counties. But we have a division of EMDC that helps small businesses. You can certainly contact me or have a business owner contact me, and I can put that person in touch with the right individual. Absolutely. And thank you all. Contact me if you have questions or want more information, or if you know any organization, association, business that we should talk to, please provide that information, because we need to do more outreach. We have plenty of money in the Connecting with Opportunities initiative. You don't hear that often. We have lots of money. We need more participants.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I was wondering, do you work at all with like the JCCOs within DOC, or like any youth coming out of the system of corrections, or youth who've been touched in that way? I know, obviously education and employment opportunities are more geared toward transitional age adults and adults, but thinking about kids 16 and over who may need some help.
We not only have the Connecting with Opportunities initiative that, and Scott can correct me if I'm wrong, it's for people 18 and older. However, there's another workforce development program, the WIOA, that's an acronym, WIOA. There's a WIOA youth program for people 16 to 24. And frankly, there are plentiful resources in that program too. Because of demographic reasons and, demographic reasons, we can't find enough young people 16 to 24 to help. So we do have some connection to youth probation, for example, and with Department of Corrections, but not, I would love to have us more connected with Long Creek and with more youth touch points, if that's a phrase. If it's not, it is now. So yeah, I would love to do that. And Madeline, reach out to me if you can, and maybe we can work on that. And Deb, I'll make sure that in the next meeting, they know that I talked too long, and that's why you might join us a little late.
No worries, Doug. I'll be right behind you, I'm sure.
Okay. And Scott is here, and he can answer more questions after Deb speaks, so that Deb has her time. And then, and Scott can tell you also some of the benefits that he has received. When he smiles, it's one of the benefits that he has obtained through Connecting with Opportunities. Thank you all.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Doug. In the interest of time, I think we're going to move directly to Deb. We will have a chance to do some more Q&A on this if anyone still has questions. But next up is Deborah Rountree. If you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you offer.
Sure, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Deb Rountree. I have worked for Eastern Maine Community College and the University of Maine system for about 24 years, both in the Katahdin region as well as Piscataquis County. And I can't think enough about what Doug had just talked about, because Eastern Maine Development Corporation has been a longtime partner of ours, working with both adults and youth in the communities in which we serve. So my role working with the college is obviously workforce development, working with businesses or companies that are looking to come to the area, how to attract and retain workforce, how to provide specialized training that they may need, But the majority of the work that I do is with individuals, especially people that live locally in Piscataquis County or in the Katahdin region, if they are interested in learning a certificate or a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree. And one of the first things I always do, because I find that 95% of the people that we work with here qualify for some form of opportunity that Eastern Maine Development Corporation has in the form of WIOA, which is workforce investment, or dislocated worker, or the youth program. The youth program is an incredible opportunity if you know a youth that either is unemployed, they're homeless, they have dropped out of school and need to finish their high set or high school diploma. They can help with a variety of situations like that. We had seen in the past couple of years here in the Katahdin region, numbers of homeless people that we had never seen before. And one of Doug's counterparts, Kevin Gregory, is housed in the center here in East Millinocket. And there's also a staff person usually at the center in Dover that is actually an incredibly untapped resource for people that are looking to go on to higher education. It can be just a short-term training, or it can be up, a 2-year degree, but having those additional resources available and provide one-on-one support with the customers that we work with every day makes such a huge difference in people's lives moving forward. It can be that they're frustrated and can't get a textbook, or they can't get their car repaired to get to class. Those things make a world of difference when you're working with someone in a rural part of the state that is looking, to go to school. So basically what happens, we have an office at the Penquis Higher Education Center. So right now, the past year has been really frustrating with the pandemic, how to work and how to attract new students. But hopefully the next month or so, we'll see services begin to reopen for face-to-face. It can be that somebody comes in thinking about, a career change, or looking to work ahead towards, finding a job in a new industry that's coming to the region. Part of the work that Eastern Maine Community College has done in Piscataquis County is worked with a large employer over there to provide training and education to hire the workforce that really helped for folks to get through the pandemic with having the swabs done, over in Piscataquis County and Guilford. They created training programs specifically to hire workers to be trained in that manufacturing facility. So we do a lot of that. But at the same time, people still don't realize that even in Piscataquis County, students can earn an entire degree right from their home or by going to the center in Dover Foxcroft. Most of the courses right now are still online, which is, for some people or for not, but we are looking to bring some new training opportunities to Piscataquis County. And we're also involved in the Working Communities Challenge grant over in Piscataquis County, where we hope to be able to work with a population of people that are unemployed, underemployed, people affected with poverty or substance use disorder. So there are so many opportunities out there for, anyone that you may know that's either unemployed or underemployed, or just looking for, new opportunities, such as the partnership we have with Mayo Regional Hospital. We created the 2-year nursing degree over in Piscataquis County, where all of the 8 students that went through that program took the entire nursing degree right at the Higher Ed Center in Dover, as well as their clinicals with the hospital. And the majority of those students qualified for not only financial aid, but some assistance with the programs that EMDC offers. So, our work together when we partner with financial aid and the student and EMDC is to try to get people through their educational experience with as least debt as possible. We also offer financial aid workshops over at the center. Right now, they're still being held virtually, but if anybody has, a client or a spouse or a son or a daughter or a relative or neighbor that, is thinking that there aren't any jobs, there are a lot of jobs that can't be filled, and it may not be that someone needs an entire, 2-year degree. They may need a micro-credential or a one-year certificate or certification in something that will help them open so many more doors to employment opportunities in Piscataquis County, just like here in the Katahdin region. The two regions are very much alike, and it's the same issues in both regions. Here in the Katahdin region, we have been through an enormous layoffs in the past, working with people that have become truly dislocated from jobs, and new jobs will be moving forward, but they're not going to be the same set of skills that people use in traditional manufacturing. So everyone is going to have a minimal set of skills to be hired for those jobs. So we really want to change the mindset of younger people that don't appear in the workforce right now, and how can we collectively make a difference in people's lives, without them having to leave the region in which they live. So does anybody have any questions over what I just said, or can I confirm anything for you?
Hi, Deb. I don't have any questions, but I want to tell you, great job. I've seen the firsthand how this program works and how your programs work by being a student myself at one time, and also by working in the center and seeing all the medical assistants get their training. I'm always so proud and so happy that that's happening.
Well, thank you, Georgia. And again, EMDC, I can't say enough for the programs and opportunities that they provide people. Almost everyone that walks through the door qualifies for some, at least one of their programs. So.
And what age group did you say that you're servicing?
So we service anyone that's looking to go off to higher education, but if someone comes in and they don't have their high set and they're looking to earn their high school diploma, we can help with that and then help them build a pathway into higher education. But they have to have a high school diploma to go into any sort of college work. And we can help provide the opportunities to finish that with the adult ed program right there in Dover Foxcroft.
Okay, thanks.
So we have programs for both youth and adults.
Are there any other questions before we move on? All right. Well, thank you so much, Deb. And thank you. I know it's probably stressful being double booked. So thank you for sticking with us.
No worries. Thank you so much for the invite. And I'll be happy to, if you want to share my email, which is on the invitation, I'll be happy
Absolutely.
to answer anyone's questions. Thank you all.
Now that it's my turn to speak again, we've got noise going on outside. So that's awesome. So I'll make this quick. Our next presenter is Christine McMillen, who's going to be talking to us about, I believe, the prenatal series and nurturing parenting program through Penquis. Christine, if you want to introduce yourself.
Well, I think that's about it. That's who I am. I'm Christine McMillen. I am with the Prevention Council at Penquis. So I run the Prevention Council, which offers parent education and professional trainings in both Penobscot and Piscataquis County. So I'm here today to talk about two specific programs that we're running. So we've been running these programs for quite a while in Penobscot County, and we're trying to really just hit the ground and get them going for parents in Piscataquis County. So the first program I came to talk about is our prenatal series. So it is 6 individual workshops that prenatal parents, so mom or dad, that are currently under medication assisted treatment, they can attend these workshop series to learn about resources available. So we have speakers come 1 week from Maine Families Home Visiting and Public Health Nursing, because it's really important that these families get connected with resources as early as possible. We have a representative from Child Protective Services come in. She talks about the mandated reporting process and when the hospital calls and what happens after the hospital calls and what's going to happen when a worker comes down to the hospital to see the family, if that does happen. We have Mark Moran, and the next time we run the series, Denise Scuderi from Mayo Hospital, or Mayo Northern Light Hospital in Dover, will be on board to talk about what's going to happen at the hospital during and after the baby's born. So how they check the baby and how things have changed, maybe if they had another baby, or, you know, they're thinking, what are they doing with my baby? What is going on here? So they explain that whole process for the families. We talk about different parenting supports that are available, like parenting support groups or parenting classes. And Courtney Evans from Acadia Hospital also joins us to talk about the importance of self-care and attachment and bonding with the baby through the whole process. So if DHS comes or they don't come, it's still important that they have that bonding and attachment. So anyone that works with anyone prenatally, it's important. I mean, even if you don't work with somebody, maybe just sharing the flyer with people, it can be really important to get families involved with some support services early on. Any support is certainly a help. And sometimes families are really nervous going into the hospital and they don't know what's going to happen, or they hear DHS and they freeze up and they stop and they don't want to do anything. So it's important that they're comfortable with that process, as well as comfortable as anyone can be. And the next thing that I wanted to talk about was our Nurturing Families Through Substance Use Treatment and Recovery. So it's a 12 to 16 week parenting program. We run it on a regular basis in Penobscot County. We've had a lot of trouble. We've tried running it here in Piscataquis County a few times and never have had any participation. But it really helps explore the parents' own childhood, childhood experiences, their strengths and their fears, explore themselves and what their substance use disorder was like and how that has impacted their children. So they're developing a self-awareness, they're, understanding their own development through their own recovery, as well as their children's development. So we spend 12 to 16 weeks. Usually we try to run it the full 16 weeks, but sometimes when it's community-based, we can only get engagement for 12 weeks. So I think this is a great resource. I know that there was somebody from the Department of Health and Human Services here today. I'm not really sure who it was, but we do have a lot of referrals for families in Penobscot County to take this, but not necessarily the ones in Piscataquis County. So it's our goal in the next program year to really inform people of these two opportunities for families in recovery and build that capacity here in Piscataquis County, because it is a needed resource. One of the highest risk factors for child abuse for Piscataquis County is parental substance abuse. So we know it's a problem and we just want to step in and do the best we can to help out with that. Any questions? I feel like I've rambled. I hope I didn't break up.
No, actually, your internet stayed pretty good for us. So I have a question. Just having, my own knowledge of the program, what would you say are some of the biggest barriers to people attending? I think specifically prenatal series.
The prenatal population is the hardest population to reach. So whether it's their first baby or their fifth baby, it doesn't matter. They're just the hardest population to reach. A lot of our referrals for parenting classes do come from the department. or people seeking parenting classes because they already have department involvement, and that doesn't happen prenatally. Every once in a while, you'll have a parent that has involvement that is prenatal and they get connected, but it's hard to reach that prenatal population. And I think there's fear too. If I admit that outside of my provider that I'm on this medication, then to someone else, what's going to happen? I don't want anybody to know. All kinds of things.
Yeah. Any other questions for Christine?
Hi, Christine. I don't know if you can help me determine this. I understand that it's very dangerous for a baby to be born under, I would say, under the influence or going through withdrawal. And my understanding is that a lot of the patients don't get in to see the doctor at least until maybe around 6 months, maybe a little after 6 months being pregnant. So I'm just wondering if there should be some sort of formal format across the state of Maine to just make sure that the mothers can get a visit, for a prenatal visit before birth. I can't even imagine what that's like if you never went for a prenatal visit and then gave birth in the hospital. That might be a nightmare.
So are you saying that the rate of moms on medication assisted treatment are not getting prenatal care? I'm not really sure. So
no, I'm saying that those that fly under the radar that aren't on the MAT maybe still be using and so forth.
So, I mean, being on MAT is certainly, probably the best route, right? But that's also something that somebody has to agree to. So your OB is not going to say you have to be on methadone or whatever medication because you're pregnant. So that's going to be someone's free will and choice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily that they're always falling under the radar. It's their choice. And actually the rate of substance exposed newborns across the state has actually declined because because moms are engaging in treatment.
That's wonderful. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Any more questions for Christine while we have her? It looks like we'll probably have some time to circle back as well if anyone comes up with any more questions. But seeing none, I'm going to move on to our final presenter of the day, and that is Ginger Collins, who represents peer-to-peer for us. So Ginger, if you want to introduce yourself and let us know what it is you do.
Everyone. I hope you can all hear me. I am Ginger Collins, and I am with Peer-to-Peer Recovery Center in Millinocket. Peer-to-Peer is PIR, stands for People in Recovery, to peer, PEER, to others. And this name was not thought up by us. We were attending a recovery coach class hosted by the Barn, the Bangor Area Network Recovery Center in Bangor back in 2019. And I think Catherine was in that class as well. So that's how, going to recovery coach class from here, it was a community, I guess, night that we came together at EMDC, and we talked about the ongoing and escalating substance abuse problem here in Millinocket. And in the Katahdin region, really, we could no longer community-wise, individually, it had become such a problem with mortality rates that were unbelievable due to overdoses. It was skyrocketing. And of course, COVID was just on the cusp of coming into the picture, but that would again push those numbers even higher. So this area was really suffering from substance abuse. And it was an issue that I think, unfortunately, as many communities, just didn't want to deal with it, and pushing it under the rug and putting it back into the basements where many of the recovery meetings were. Recovery was not visible in Millinocket. It was in basements. And when I was visiting Portland at the Portland Recovery Community Center, which is an amazing, amazing place, I came back and I said, no more recovery in basements. This has got to stop. This has really got to stop. And lo and behold, at the same time was this meeting about the addiction problem here in Millinocket. And they offered at that time, if you came to the meeting, you could take a recovery course, a coaching course free. They would pay the tuition. So 3 ladies, myself as one of them, we band together, we went down, we had nothing better to do. But little did we know that was the beginning of the, I want to say beginning of our life, but total mayhem in our lives. We really were under the conviction, driving back and forth for 2 weekends and talking about recovery and where it has failed in our area, what is going on, you know, things are not working, that we decided time to stop passing the buck. The 3 ladies, we were all in recovery, said, I guess it's going to stop with us. Let's see what we can do. And that really was the beginning of peer-to-peer. It began in the car. It continued in my kitchen. So for a year, we really are a grassroots operation. We literally spent a year banging on doors, state, local, state representatives, Kiwanis clubs, you name it, we were banging on doors. And we did garner some support. And one particular person of support, which has truly been pivotal to our ability to market ourselves in this region, is Gordon Smith. We called him one day from the kitchen and he answered his phone, and he couldn't believe what we were doing. And so he came up and sat with us, and it was the beginning of the beginning. It really was. And in January of 2020, we signed a lease for the building we're in as of now. And this really has began our real deep work in the community. We have a visible location right as you come into Millinocket. So everybody goes by us, and nice big glass windows. So we're not, you know, in a basement, we're not in a closed building, we're open and visible. And yeah, that was our dream, you know, to have a place where people can come and find support, because that's what was lacking. Resources were kind of around, but they were not where anyone knew how to come to find them, or where do we begin, or what do we do, and you know, all sorts of things. So we have been there for the community, not just the substance abuse community, but the entire community. Because we are a community, several communities in healing at this time. So there is a place that people now know where they can come and say, we don't know where to start. We don't know what to do. We don't know who to call. We don't know where to go. How do I find this? How do I find that? And we answer their questions. If we don't know the answer, well, we sure find it out. So that's been a real eye-opener with the community. They now have a place that they are beginning to feel very comfortable coming in. Getting them to come through the door was hard in the beginning, but we've gotten a lot of community programs in where we're involved, And one of the big ones is obviously recovery meetings. We offer all sorts of recovery services, be it recovery coaching, which is you basically one-on-one working with someone to develop a program of recovery that they're comfortable with. And we meet regularly and talk about it and adjust it and see where we're doing. It's not for the recovery coach to do, it's for the recovery to do. But we kind of guide them in that direction. We help with education. We help connect them to EMDC, which is a wonderful resource. We're there to do whatever we can for that in that respect. We also work with the community in other issues that surround substance abuse, which are food insecurity, clothing insecurity, resources for counseling, family counseling, individual counseling, should that be needed. And that's become a very big thing. We have what's called Grab and Go, which we're doing every other Tuesday each month. And we offer free food, completely free food. If you would like to donate, that's great. It's open to the entire community. No questions asked. If you need 5 dinners, you get 5 dinners. If you need 10, you get 10. I'm not going to say, are you sure you need? So they do distribute them. They bring them for the elderly. We have the elderly we're working with. We have the families. And so that has grown from an initial number of 75. We've doubled it. We're now at 150 that we do each time. So we're growing leaps and bounds with that. It's become very popular. So we've hit a niche with that, which is good. We're helping in that direction. We're also working with the schools. In particular, we're working with the high schools at this time with the Gifted and Talented program to open, their project is the drug issue in the region. And so we're working with them and learning more and trying to, we have a school person representative from the student body that comes here once a month and meets with us. And we're working on getting something arranged for the kids. That's what we're doing right now. We're in that planning phase of this. So that's huge because that's where we've identified that a lot of work needs to be done in the schools. And as young as 3rd and 4th grade, both with substance issues, believe it or not, and mental health. So we're working with community people too, in that teachers, other professionals, and ourselves, we're working together to create some sort of maybe after school program, which we could put here. So we're working to come up with a solution there. Also with the police department, the emergency department, we're banging on their doors. They're a little bit, believe it or not, a little more resistant. They're doing their thing. They're doing great things, but we'd like to try to work together, especially when we have overdoses going into the ED. Having recovery coach just go and just give them the card. You plant the seed, you never know when that's going to happen. So that's an important connection, we believe. So we're still striving to get that completed. And we're also, what was brought to our attention, that we're looking to put together a grieving group. There's been a lot of death here over the last 2 years with ODs. And there's a lot of unhealed hurt, pain. And, when we do get together with, or put together other people who are in the same situation, having gone through the horrible witnessing of their loved ones, with addiction, it is terrible. It's heartbreaking. And then to lose them on top of it, it leaves a hole and it's indescribable. So there's so much healing that needs to take place there. So we're working on putting together a support group. We're almost there, where we'll be meeting hopefully like once a week or once every other week. We're determining that. But so there's needs in the community that run real deep beyond just the people that are affected in terms of those that are using substances or alcohol or whatever. You know, we have others in here with gambling addiction, food addiction. There's all different kinds. So we're like a smorgasbord. You know, how do you get one help for everybody? You know, you can't. So we're learning to, say, okay, we're learning too, but we're blessed that a lot of people do come forward that have experience, and we're just being truly embraced by the community. We're getting more and more people that come in here with clothes and many things. We're looking to purchase. This is how big our food and our free clothes have gotten, which are beautiful clothes. They're not just junk. We're going to purchase a shed because we need one. We need a big shed, like a little store. But it fits the needs where people, they don't have money even to go to some of the shelters or Salvation Armies and things where they ask for a donation. They don't have the money. It's been hit really hard with COVID. So here we are. And, we thought we would define it. Well, no way. They define it for us. And it's been wonderful. We've had more people coming in and asking how can they volunteer, how can they help. And we have a core group of volunteers that I don't know where we'd be today without them. And that's only been in the last 3 months, 4 months that has materialized for us. We're just recovering people ourselves who just don't want to see any more suffering. And we want to bring recovery back out and make it happy, not sad. It's not a sad thing. It's really happy to see people change their lives and work together and help each other. That's what we're here to do. We're here to put it all together. You can meet each other, you can talk, you can find, people that you can reach out to. That's what we wanted to provide, a place where you can come and find, whatever it is you're looking for in recovery. If not, we'll find it for you, point you in the direction. So we don't define it. And I think that's been our biggest lesson. Don't try to define recovery. It takes its own course for sure. So I don't know. That's about us. That's about it in a nutshell. We survived the COVID shutdown. We no sooner opened in February and had to close in March of our first year. That hurt us. So when we reopened in May, we had to start all over again from square one, because all of the land we gained, we lost. So, but it's been really strong ever since. It's just the numbers have skyrocketed, and we're being accepted by the community. It feels really good. So we're a good fit, I think. So that's it. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them if I could.
You kind of touched on it at the end there about community support. How did you go about garnering that kind of community support? Because it's so important.
Grassroots, getting out, talking, banging on doors. We literally went into town and started banging on the doors and saying, hi, you may not know us, but this is who we are. We brought our brochure and we told them we're that nice building on your way out of town, so now they know now, and we have a nice, big, beautiful new sign. And so now we have a real physical presence. People know, people say, oh yeah, peer-to-peer. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they're down, they know us now. So we've become like a household word. So
That's awesome. Because I know, last time we talked about LD 488 and the fact that there are some big things coming down the pike for this region. And I think that hearing this story is so inspiring that, that's what I think we would hope to see come from as a result of, a little bit of a government push toward it.
Right. Right. Well, and within the state, there's I'm not sure. I think there's 14 or 15 recovery centers, some part of the hub, so to speak, and others like ourselves, we're independent. And we're not sponsored by any agency. So we do our own fundraising and everything. So we're supported by state contract for another 3 or 4 months. And then we're already starting to bone up with grants, and we're already looking for money. So that's the other thing that we spend a lot of time doing is always looking for, next dollar. Right now we're looking for money to hire. We need to hire. We have come to that point that no longer can myself and my partner continue to hold the fort. The hours that we put in are amazing. They're so worth it, but it's just overwhelming sometimes. So we're lucky we have the volunteer base that we so desperately needed. It's here. So we're really blessed that we're able to really count on them a lot.
I'm seeing a couple of things come in on the chat here. I want to make sure you see them. So Cheryl had a good idea. Could the area technical school make your team a shed for your clothes?
As a matter of fact, thank you. We are going to ask them. Maybe that or Penobscot down in Lincoln. They might be able to do that too. Thank you. And it would give them a real good feeling to see where, their efforts have gone and how important that is to us,
Yeah. I mean, I'd offer to build you a shed, but I've done it once and I don't think I'm going to do it again. That's enough.
I've been involved with helping. I'm good at, I'll cook. I'll cook. And I see Georgia asked, do we do community dinners? Yeah, that's our grab and go. And anything else we can think of if we're going to, as a fundraiser or, I don't know, maybe when we can once again gather, doing something socially would be kind of nice. We've not been able to really do any social type big planning, for maybe, I don't know, music or something. I don't know. It's just.
Could you just explain that grab and go then for me?
Sure.
What does that look like?
Literally, it is exactly what it says, grab and go. They come in our front door. They sign their name, and that's all they have, just first name and how many dinners they want. So we can keep track of that. And then they go go down the front of the long table, and we put the dinners in the containers for them, close them, put them in a bag. If they need utensils, we give that to them, and hand the bag to them, and they literally continue walking straight ahead out the other door. So it's literally come in the door, grab your meal and leave. And it's hot, ready to go. And you can either go home and eat it, or you can put it in the fridge or freeze it. It's freezable container, recyclable, reusable containers. In keeping in mind with COVID, we, definitely didn't want any touching of food, or we don't want them eating here. We can't do that. So they literally, that's why it's called grab and go. Here's your homemade dinner in an easy, microwavable, safe plate, and they can eat it and throw it out. And that's that, recycle it. And then.
So who makes those dinners? Do you?
Yes, we are partnered with, our two missions came together all by themselves. Our mission was to always find help if people needed it for food, clothes, and whatever. And a chef at River Drivers, the head chef there, her dream was to be able to provide free, wholesome, good food at a very reasonable cost to the people of the community, because this area was hit, like most other rural areas, very hard with COVID and all. So the two missions just met one day and said, okay, how are we going to make this happen? And boom, we didn't call it grab and go. We just figured out how can we get around the COVID requirements. What can we do? How easy can we do it? So she cooks in a kitchen that St. Andrew's, a local church, have a big kitchen downstairs. They allow her to cook there. We transport it here and we put it in the warmers, and there it goes. It's quite an operation. It's pretty seamless. We've got it down, but it works. I don't know how, but it works. Because when I describe it, it sounds like, wow, that sounds like it's almost impossible, but it works very well. It really does.
Right. Does anyone else have any questions about peer-to-peer?
Hi, Ginger. It's Catherine. Hey,
Catherine.
Hi. I was wondering, and thank you for your presentation. The beginning of your presentation really took me back to Recovery Rustic, when our little grassroots group got together and started doing things. Yeah, that was a memory lane thing. Also, our taking the recovery coaching together. My question is, how has the response or interaction with the local hospital been?
I'd like to see it better. Although we do work with the Katahdin group there that Jane heads out. We are involved with that. I'm hoping that we can, it's going to take a little bit. It's just going to take a little bit. It's going to take some more banging on the door and coming in the back. I don't know. It's just going to take some work. It's been a hard one to penetrate.
Yeah. So who's your mental health provider, or do you have to go to Bangor there?
Well, it's Han, and yeah, Health Access Network.
Yeah.
That's
have you and your partners taken the emergency room department training through CCAR yet?
No. There is ED training.
There's the emergency room department training, yeah, ED training, and it's really becoming a hot field, like in the larger urban areas.
Yeah. And that
yeah, I mean, both Maine Alliance of Recovery Coaching through Healthy Acadia and PRCC offer it for free.
Okay, cool. I'll get a hold of PRCC. That'd be great. Thanks, Catherine. Seriously, that might just help show them that we're interested. Yeah, excellent. Yeah. Thank you. Really,
you're welcome.
Excellent. Anyone else have any questions for Ginger?
I encourage anyone, if you're ever in our area, please stop in. I'd love to meet you, shake your hand, and show you around, and maybe we could do lunch or something. So yeah.
All right. We still have a little bit of time to kind of circle back. I know we kind of had to go a little out of order here to make sure that Doug and Deb had a chance to present before they moved on. And Doug kind of invoked Scott Knoll's name as well. So Scott, if you're still with us, you want to tell us a little more about your side of things over with working alongside Doug.
Sure. So my name's Scott Knowles. I am a recovery coach with Healthy Acadia, and I'm also a peer connector with Eastern Maine Development Corporation. It's kind of my journey through recovery coaching is kind of what led me to the work experience at Eastern Maine Development Corporation as a peer connector. It's a very relative kind of work. It's all peer support. So like Doug was saying, I was also on drug court with him, a participant that graduated in August of 2019. Yeah, no, 2020 of August 2020, last August. Yeah, sorry. I'm also just, if it's not obvious, I'm just getting over a cold. So yeah, it's been a pretty cool experience. I actually didn't have much work experience at all as an adult, like legitimate work experience. It's been a very long time in active use, doing criminal things, etc. So like for me, this was a huge turning point in my life. suffer from a disability called narcolepsy that went undiagnosed until I was 31 years old. I finally was able to have that treated and properly medicated so I don't fall asleep during the day anymore. I actually just turned in an application to get a permit for the first time ever. As Doug had mentioned, I got my teeth fixed because I had lost most of my teeth in active use. More than anything, though, really my journey through recovery through drug court with Eastern Maine Development Corporation, especially even with recovery coaching, which is like really near and dear to my heart because that led me out of the false belief system that I had that I was not competent or capable of managing a normal life because of that narcolepsy stuff that I hadn't addressed. It's just about like a future. Like last summer, I was able to take an accelerated course through Eastern Maine Community College to get 30 school credits and the competencies to test out for my certified alcohol and drug counseling certification. I haven't done that yet because I was going to do that and then decided instead I'm going to go to school in the fall to get a bachelor's degree doing that same mental health field, which most of is paid for from the different programs in my volunteer work with recovery coaching through AmeriCorps. So anyway, that's like the basis of my story. I try to stay away from like the gritty details. I don't feel like that's helpful for anybody. The reality is I spent a long time doing a lot of bad stuff because I didn't believe in myself. And I had I had some barriers that I wasn't able to overcome on my own that all came to a head. And now thanks to the programs that are in place and that I was lucky enough to participate in, my life is not only moving in a different direction, which is great for me, but also great for all the people around me because I'm a natural leader. And like, I've been able to really inspire and help more than anything people in a better direction today instead of doing the opposite, which makes me very happy, more happy than any personal gain that I have got from it. Do you want to touch back on the connecting with opportunities thing? Because I'm not sure that Doug hit all the heads. There are 3 basic requirements for that program. The first one is that he did talk about you have to be directly or indirectly impacted, which I can't say I know a whole lot of people who haven't been in one way directly or indirectly impacted because indirectly is very wide, very vague term. The second one is long-term unemployed or dislocated worker, which he did say. The third one is the bachelor's degree. You can't already have a bachelor's degree. Would you like to get a widespread net? Because at EMDC, that's just the one program that I work for. We have lots of different programs, like you said. And if we don't have a program that will work for somebody, like our job isn't just to be like, sorry, you don't fit our program, go figure it out somewhere else. We will help people figure out where they can get the assistance that they need. Like that's what we do. So yeah, that's what I get. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Scott. Thank you very much for your story.
Absolutely.
It's great.
Any questions for Scott? Really, any of the presenters that are still with us? We've got time to stew. I know we'll make sure that if you don't have email addresses or contact information, we'll make sure to get them out to you so you can reach out to any of the presenters, anyone here really, to ask questions, make referrals, get that networking going. Just really kind of one of the points of this is to really just connect people.
I don't have a question. I just have a quick comment before I jump off. I just wanted to let everyone know that the first NA meeting will happen in Guilford at the United Methodist Church on Monday, June 7th at 7 o'clock, and it'll be every Monday after that. So I'm just putting that out there that there is going to be an NA meeting happening in Guilford, which is huge, right? So
what time, please?
7 p.m.
7 o'clock. So Monday, June 7th at 7 p.m.
At the church, Guilford Church. Okay.
Yep. That's my birthday.
Oh, you'll spread the word.
Yeah, June 7th. Wow. That's just that's awesome. It makes me feel good that I'm here today.
So our next session is on June 7th at the same time. Looks like we'll be hearing from Denise Smith about Narcan at Bangor Public Health, Dave McDermott for Mayo Hospital Services, Jackie Sear for Acadia Hospital Substance Use Services, and Hillary Esslinger on Maine Access Points. So spread the word, get it out there. If you have any questions about how people can RSVP, just reach out to me or Georgia. We'll guide you in the right direction. We want to see this thing blow up and wide and get as far out there as we can. And like I said, this will be on YouTube hopefully in the next week. So people, if you know anyone who wanted to attend and was not able to, we'll provide that link as well. Other than that, I'm going to stop my recording and thank you everyone for attending.
Thank you.